It will cost jobs, though, and that's exactly what this will do too.
Very well said.
Denise Roche.
Ngā mihi nui ki a koe, Mr Speaker. It's my pleasure to speak on this bill. We will be supporting it, and I congratulate the member for bringing this House to the bill. Finally, something positive for our young people and young workers in New Zealand is being promoted in this House, and I sincerely hope it passes into legislation. This bill is an important step in recognising and protecting young people in New Zealand. We seem to have this mistaken idea that New Zealand is a benign country, that our children are not exploited at work, but this is simply not true, especially when you consider that the government has introduced a bill for youth rates for young workers starting out on their working lives, which deliberately invites exploitation. And add to that the fact that this government is now taxing paper boys and girls. We're entering a time of cynical fleecing of young workers in the guise that it's good for them. This bill will do what the government has not: offer protection to our young people. They're amongst the most vulnerable workers in New Zealand. Unlike most countries in the world, New Zealand has not got a minimum working age. This bill will ensure that young people, even if they're under 16, are to be treated as employees rather than contractors, and that's a start in job protection. While on the one hand we encourage our kids to get a job, and as a parent I was desperate for my kids to earn some money so they could stop fleecing me, not just to save up to treats, but also to contribute to the household. And the other thing about it is that we encourage them to get jobs because that's where they develop their work ethic and their work readiness. There are many thousands of New Zealanders, young people, children, who are treated as independent contractors rather than as employees. And for these kids, their first foray into the workforce can frequently be unpleasant. They probably don't even know that they're independent contractors. Mainly they just feel like they're being ripped off. Like Waiuku boy, Max Hansen, and him and his 13-year-old sister who were delivering pamphlets for 3 years, who were told suddenly one day that their $6 an hour was halved. Their mum tried to negotiate, went public, but these kids were out of luck because they were independent contractors. That company has 6,000 independent contractors, most of them likely to be kids. It's unlikely those kids know they're independent contractors. It's more unlikely that they are in a position to be able to negotiate because the balance of power between a child and an adult is not even. They're not even going to get anywhere near a negotiating table. The New Zealand Council of Trade Unions suggests that there are thousands of children in this country earning $2 or $3 an hour. That's on the same level as sweatshop owners. In third world countries, we had a sweating commission in New Zealand in the 1870s, and we abolished cruelty to children. But this government says that we can carry on with that. We know that independent contractors don't have the same protection as employees. And you can just look at The Hobbit, you can look at The Hobbit and what happened with the independent employees there. These kids have to pay their own ACC, their own tax, have no holiday pay, sick leave, they have to provide their own weather protection, and they also have to maintain their own health and safety, and these kids are at risk on their jobs every day. Risky and risky situations that pamphlet deliverers face, for example, include dogs, includes traffic, includes other sorts of injuries. Today, the Transport and Industrial Relations Select Committee has been hearing submissions on the youth rates that this government wants to introduce. Part of the conversations we're hearing is that we need to be doing more for children who are in the workforce who are under 16 as well. There are international conventions that we have not signed up for. This bill is a great start in the right direction. I commend it to the House.
Mr. Speaker.
Chris Ockenvold.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. I anticipated hearing Mr. Tirikatene